Well, I've had an interesting night. Thought I was going to have to go in to work at a very odd hour. Sounded like things were kind of flying off the wall and off the handle. So they sent out a text and said, "Hey, we're in trouble. Can anyone come and help?" I recently heard a conversation between a couple of veterans. They were kind of doing a Q&A, just talking about their previous line of work. And they talked about the difference between, having unit cohesion, but also having some camaraderie within your unit. And I was thinking about that tonight. Now, I've been at my current place of employment for coming up on 3 years now. I've never once seen a text like that go out where there seemed like they were all but saying, "Hey, there's a 5 alarm fire here and we need help." It got me kind of thinking about, how different units operate and how even different facilities operate between what's expected of people, what are people willing to do, what are they not willing to do. And, I was thinking about it more tonight and right now, and it's just like, when they put that text out, my first thought was, are you kidding me? I've been home all day. I just rotated off from several night shifts 3 days ago. Why in the world would I want to go in? I suppose the altruistic answer would be, it's like, oh, I want to go in so, I can help all the patients who come in. Maybe there was a bad car accident somewhere and several kids had to get flown in, possibly. It's certainly not to say that that's not a reason to go in, or it's not a reason that I would have gone in to help those people. Absolutely. That's what I signed up to do. That's the job. But the other thing is, and the other part of it, it's not just the patients, it's also my friends, people that I work with every day. By and large, I'd say I have pretty good relationships with all of them, which is a wonderful thing to have. I'd say my unit is very blessed that there's certainly not a lot of people who, you know, and everyone knows this. You get on the unit, or you are on the truck that day, and you look at the schedule. It's like, who's my partner today? Who's going to be in the pod with me? And then, you know, you all know there's some of those people where it's just like, okay, so now I'm going to have to do more work tonight because this person's there, or it's just like, oh, great, now I have to deal with this person's personality, or I have to deal with their bullshit all night. I'd say I'm actually pretty fortunate that I don't have to do that for the most part. There's always a few in every unit. But like I said, I'm actually quite blessed, I would say. It got me thinking about how that's actually really important. That's why you need to be good at your job, is because on the times when you do get in trouble, when, for whatever reason, three really sick kids come back to your pod, your area, all at the same time, and you know, you just end up getting two of them. Maybe you just discharged a few kids before. In the pre-hospital world, it's those times when you hear every single other truck get dispatched out in your area, especially if they all get dispatched out on, something that's just not real critical, and you're just waiting, and you're just like, we're about to get something stupid. I just know it. Like I said, that's why it's important to do your job well. And for all you new EMTs, paramedics, and nurses out there, that's why the first thing that you have to do is you got to lay a really good foundation. You got to lay a foundation so that when you get off orientation, I'm not saying you're not going to struggle. You will. It's going to be hard. It's going to be frustrating. But you're not going to drown. That's the key. You're going to feel like you're drowning sometimes. But you're going to have the skills to keep up with what it is. And not only are you going to have the skills to keep up with it is, but you will have shown that you have the work ethic, the temperament, and frankly, the attitude that's going to make other people want to help you when they see that you're in trouble. That's what that text got me thinking about tonight. It's just like I said, do I want to help the patients that come in? Yeah. Do I want to help the potentially really sick and injured kids that we take care of every day? Yeah, I do. But I also want to help out my friends, my teammates. And if I'm being honest, that's actually the bigger driving force. That's the bigger driving force because at the end of the day, it's the people you're working with, patients, especially in the emergency setting. You see them, and then you send them upstairs, or you send them on their way. So sometimes you interact with them multiple times. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you'll never see them again. But the people that you have to work with, they're always going to be there. So I think it's definitely worth thinking about what am I operating in a way at work that not only makes it clear that yes, I can handle my own workload, but are you the person who you're willing to jump in and help out when you see one of your teammates drowning? And also, are you the type of teammate that someone else is going to jump in and help out when you start drowning?